want to get out of the CyberCall and the famous quote of Winston Churchill, never let a good crisis go to waste, is as MSPs, this is highlighting really a need to have a strong crisis management plan in place. Because if you're an MSP running whatever endpoint, whether it was CrowdStrike or whoever, and you have 50, 100 or more customers, and in this instance, there was no automation that could be put in place. Like your RMM couldn't update everybody. This was a manual effort. More than ever, we really do need cyber resilience and planning at the forefront of our MSP and our customers, like CDK showed that as well. So let me set the stage there, what we're going to be talking about on the CyberCall, Chris. You've run an MSP, no longer in that business, but working with, hundreds every year. What are your thoughts on this, and what can we learn, and what should we be thinking?
Well, my thoughts is that this is a situation that for most could not be avoided. This is something that you couldn't predict or kind of protect yourself or your clients from it occurring, right? I don't think this is something that vendor due diligence would have discovered during that process either. So the point is that these situations do have the ability to happen. There is the risk to these occurring. And you're going to have to think about a situation like this where your tools are not at play. And you're going to have a plan of dealing with something that you're probably is going to take your entire team communicating verbally to your clients on how to remediate an issue, because you're not going to have the staff to go out to every single machine in your client's universe to get these things done right there on the spot. So you're going to have to walk through. So yes, crisis communication, making sure your staff has the ability to communicate clearly, making sure you have the ability to put together a plan, a script, and all those things, tracking mechanisms and everything in place to deal with a situation like this, because your customers are going to be leaning solely upon you. This is not a situation where you can go, sorry, customer, go talk to CrowdStrike, or this is CrowdStrike's fault. It's not our problem. They're going to be looking at you, and they're probably not even going to know what CrowdStrike is until something like this happens. So you're going to have to be prepared for this. And it is that worst, it's kind of worst type of situation, but it's something that, look, there's evidence that it happens and you got to address it.
Yeah, well said, Chris. And I think it also highlights, as I wrap this up, because we really want, to talk about a lot of different things on the CyberCall today, but it really also highlights something, Eric Tildes talks often about, which is, when you're signing your contracts, right, Chris? I mean, more than often, MSPs blindly sign their agreements, and we're baking in these tools. As you said, most small businesses don't know, oh, it's CrowdStrike. It's you're delivering an end result to a customer. Part of that's, EDR, MDR, XDR, whatever in this case it was. So can you just kind of wrap things up there, why that's important too?
Yeah, I mean, contract language and making sure that the client understands what things are within your control, what things are without, beyond your control. I mean, those are things that Eric speaks about a lot, and I know he covers it with his clients and their contracts. So it's something that you need to reflect on pretty quickly and understand if you have anything in your contracts that, if you were put in this situation, would put you and your business at risk. And the other thing I want to touch upon in this situation is that you also, in your communications, need to understand that a lot of people don't understand what the situation is. I know, for example, my mom was in the hospital and she had called me. I thought it was a status update, but it was her nurse asking me, was this a cyber attack? And it wasn't a cyber attack. So here I'm having to explain to a nurse at a hospital over the phone, somebody that I've never talked to before, how this is not a cyber attack, even though it's a cybersecurity product and everything of that nature, because this was a pretty substantial size hospital system in Dallas, and it was impacted by this. So there's just a lot of moving parts here. And this is where it really comes down to, you better know how to communicate very, very effectively if you want things like this to be successful.
Well said, Chris. Thanks for that. And I'll look forward to seeing you just in a few hours. All right.
I look forward to being there. It's a great talk.